Hello everyone, welcome to the Watch Tailor, a channel where we take watches, give them a little tweak and make them better or different. In this one, as you've seen by the title, we're going to be tackling Grand Seiko, because even they do get it wrong sometimes in my opinion. Now I think Grand Seiko makes some of the nicest watches in the industry. You might disagree, but I think they do. However, everybody gets things wrong at times, and I think this is one of those examples that they've just gone a little bit too much. Now I get that this is a complicated movement that they use in this watch, because obviously have you seen how many features it's got? I mean, it's got a date complication, a 30-minute timer, a 12-hour timer, a 60 seconds running. We then got a chronograph, a GMT function, as well as a power reserve. So I don't know what movement is in this watch, but it's very, very complex. But from an aesthetic standpoint, I just think there is far too much going on this watch. I mean, yeah, it's very useful and very handy and quite a technical achievement, but we approach things from an aesthetic side of things. And for me, this is not working. So of course, we start off with a duplicate. And then we're going to be getting rid of some stuff because again there's just too much going on. So the first thing I got rid of was the power reserve, because I don't think it really adds anything to the dial. Some cases the power reserve, and they implement them so well and it just looks like it's part of the dial. This looks a little bit like an afterthought. I know it's not an afterthought, but the way it's implemented, I don't know, it's just not the best I've seen from them, let's just say. Next up, date window and the little truncated indice. I think there's far too much going on with the dial already. We don't need a date window as well. We then get rid of the subdial down here, which is the 12-hour one, because again it just throws off the balance and the symmetry, so we don't really need it. We then got rid of the subdial up here, because again it's just a symmetry issue. But then we have this issue now. So we're creating a symmetrical look, which you guys know I'm a big fan of. We've got the branding to one side. Now, in this application, it's the best they could have done. Obviously, they can't put it under the 12 because of the subdial, and there's no other room to put it anywhere else, so they've had to put it there. Again, it sort of works, but for what we're going for, it doesn't. So branding's gone. It's just gone. We've then decided to remove the spring drive text, because I know it's important to have it displayed, but I just don't think there is the right place. So we basically removed that. And again, I just think it cleans it up a little bit. So now we've got rid of all the elements that I think are detracting from the design. Now we can start adding stuff back to complete the overall look. So of course we need a replacement indice, so we've just copied this one over and across, and now we've got a very nice symmetrical set of indices. Then the subdial. So I decided to go with the 30-minute because I thought it was a little bit more useful and it looked a little bit nicer than the 12-hour one, but you know, swings and roundabouts, it's a personal preference sort of thing. I just think it sort of adds now. As for the hand, I actually changed it up a little bit and borrowed this one, again just for symmetry. So we basically duplicated this hand and copied it over here. We then had to redo the numbers as well. Obviously, if you can see here, the numbers are cut through, so we've had to borrow them off a different indice. So we used the 3 from there, and then we had to rebuild a 0 from here and sort of make a unique one. But luckily, I mean, the hand covers that up anyway. And then the 15 is borrowed from there, so that's how that all worked. So then we decided to add the branding back in, but instead of putting it back where it was, we put it in the center where it should be. So now we're creating that symmetry again. Spring drive text. Again, we weren't really going to be leaving it there, so we decided to pop it there. Now this one's gone a little bit funny. I don't know why, it's a software sort of issue, but we did borrow this and thingy. In fact, we took that from a different spring drive watch and put it there. So yeah, it doesn't look all the best for some reason. The software's made it look funny. Don't know why, but yeah, it should be really crisp and clean like it says there. But the software's just decided to do what it wants with it. So the next thing I did was sort out the dial. So as you've noticed, as we've removed some of the elements, we've got a little bit of like a blotchiness going on here from obviously the dial. So I just did a little bit of a fix, so you can see just there, it's just sort of cleaned it up a little bit. And I think it's just made it look a little bit, well, not, I wouldn't say better, it's just fixed that sort of issue that we were left with. Obviously, if they were going to do it, then it'd, you know, be a little bit better than that, than what I can do. But, you know, anyway, so now we've done all that, we've just started doing a little bit of sort of colour correction. Now, this is a titanium watch, but titanium, you can get it in sort of different hues. This one, for me, I don't like it. It's a little bit too, so I've just toned it down a little bit. So you can see, you know, it's toned it down some. And then, you know, give it a little bit of tweak on the blue, and I've just made it a little bit darker. Why that one's changed as well, I do not know. It shouldn't have. Is that part of this? So if I remove that up there, there you go. So now you can see the difference between the two. So we've just darkened the blue up a little bit. Now I do like this blue, but I just think this is just a little bit nicer. And then finally we just darkened the whole watch. And again, we've just brought it down, and I just think it looks a little bit more thingy now, a little bit, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, a little bit classier. I don't know whether that's the right word. I'm kind of struggling to think of a word, but yeah. So you can see the colour difference now. We've still got a titanium look, but it's just not as yellow and as pale. I don't really like that. I don't think it looks like that in person. I think it does actually look a little bit more like this, but from the pictures, it looks a little bit yellow. Whereas this titanium, I think, looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit crisper, and I think it works really nice. So what do you guys think? Do you think I've, you know, improved upon it? I think, you know, I've created that nice symmetry, what it was missing before. But anyway, that's what I've done. Am I going to tackle Grand Seiko again? I don't know, because, you know, there's not many of their watches that actually need work. But I thought this one, again, was just a little bit too busy. It's not ugly, just too busy. So we've just cleaned it up a little bit. So what do you guys think? Is it better? Is it worse? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.